Entrepreneurship is a key driver of growth and transformation in Africa, where opportunities are endless for the young people. However, you and I know that starting and sustaining a business can be frustrating and challenging. The risk, the moment of tears, and the moment of joy. It is quite an honor for us to have an expert to guide us on this journey, telling us the various steps for us to take to succeed. And joining us today, we are so much honored to have him, is Mr. Josiah Kwesi Eyison, the CEO and co-founder of iSpace Foundation, an incredible innovation hub in Accra that have been mentoring and training and supporting startups and creatives, technology, what have you, over the years, making him the rightful expert to speak on the subject matter of the pathway to starting a successful, or the pathway to starting a business. Wherever you're watching from, if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, I don't know what you are waiting for, because today's conversation will definitely be a very insightful one. You should click on the subscription button. And as you know, we are actually having a youthful synergy. So please make sure you share this with your networks and join in the conversation with your comments and your suggestions, your questions, whatsoever. Whichever place that resonates with you, we want to hear from you. We want to hear what you have to say, and he also wants to know what you have to say. Mr. Ecosystem.
Hello, madam. How are you doing?
I'm doing amazing. Yourself?
Not bad. Not bad.
Super. In fact, we are so honored and grateful to have you join us on this platform to share your expertise with us. It's such a, it's something we are not taking lightly at all. Searching through all the people, we found that you were the rightful person that we have to come to. So thank you for having us.
That's an honor. I'm sure my mom will be happy about it. Yeah.
Definitely. On talking about the subject matter of youth and entrepreneurship, we would like to begin from your background and, from the lighter note, because we want people to understand who we are talking to and what makes you the best person. So I would like to begin to ask, as the CEO and co-founder of iSpace Foundation, what was your inspiration for starting this innovation hub? And what were some of your goals? Have you been able to achieve them so far? Have you?
Okay. So I came in this from an envious point of view. In my background, I was working with a lot of corporate individuals that happened to come from South Africa, Kenya, and Nigeria particularly. And I kept hearing innovation hub, tech, and you do your research and you see that a lot of funding was going towards, the Eastern Belt and all of these other things. So I was wondering why we didn't have something like this in Ghana, right? So that was the envy. But then I also remembered that I'm a child of Nkrumah, right? The Black Star. And for me, it was something that I thought, wait, but Ghanaians also are doing tech. We are amazing people at what it is that we wanted to do. So how can we create a community that then attracts the investment to come to the country? So that's how iSpace kind of came about, or the idea of it came about, really was to ensure that we implement what was happening in other regions in Ghana to then bring the opportunity to a lot of the entrepreneurs in Ghana, really. Yeah.
Wow. This is very interesting, to turn a negative word into a positive light that is affecting not only yourself, but a lot of young people and other people and businesses, setups in the Ghanaian community, and even because of virtual trainings around the globe. I wouldn't really want to call it envy though, but I would just say, would it be that hunger, that hunger that you felt to make this happen? But all the same, we appreciate the envy. Does that mean that all upcoming entrepreneurs need to be envious?
Yeah, I think, you see, because like you said, because we're looking at the word envy, right? But if you envy, let's say you see somebody that is executing an idea very well, right? You can be, you can be inspired by them, but there's no action, right? You can admire them, there's no action. You can envy them, and there's no action. So all those three things still resulted in no action, right? But if I envy somebody and I think, you know what, I can do what they do, and you analyze yourself and you push forward and do something, you've taken that energy into something positive, right? And that's all it is. And I think our lack of understanding of certain words is the reason why we behave the way we behave. Because I don't have a problem somebody feeling like, oh, they envy another person or they jealous of the person. My question is, why are you envious? Why are you jealous of the person? So if you're able to answer the why, and you feel, because for me, I'm like, you know, why is it that we're not getting investment in Ghana, right? Because why are you giving the money to this person? Why are you not giving it to my people? And I had to answer the why, which to show you that this is why you need to invest in my people. So yeah, for me, it was just that energy, that anger that I took to then trying to establish what it is that it is iSpace today. And it's proven my point, because when we first came into the industry, there weren't that many innovation hubs, right? There was 2 of us at that time. And now in Ghana, fast forward 13 years down the line, you have over 120 hubs across the various regions. See, so one would say if we didn't start what we started, yeah, hubs will come, but the growth or the mushroom of hubs would never have happened as rapid as it did if we never started in the first place. So yeah, for me, it is what it is at the end of the day.
Wow. I love, wow. Meaning you are part, or if I should be sure,
The Godfather.
The Godfather. Oh. I think you need some booze up there. Yeah, good one there. You know, this tells that we are with the right person. You know, the right expert talking about the right subject, because we are with the Godfather of innovation hubs in Ghana, to be precise. I mean, we are privileged.
Yeah, and I need to mention another Godfather though. So that was William Senior from Impact Hub, which originally was Hub Accra, then it became Impact Hub, because we were the first 2 privately owned hubs in that sense. And it's amazing work that we've both done to this point. So yeah, I mean, when it comes to the founding fathers of the innovation space, you can't write certain people off, definitely.
So you are indirectly telling every young person out there that if you find yourself to have a negative trait in our society, quote, being it anger, because anger can be positive, being it, you know, envy or jealousy. You see people thriving, they are doing so well, and you feel like, you know, I can be like them, or I can do better than them. Today, you are gaining the inspiration from our experts that it is possible to turn that into positivity, but it's all based on the intention that you have. If the intention is negative, you will cause harm. But if the intention is positive, it will drive you to cause change in yourself and in your community. This is why YITDA TV is your go-to platform. Oh, goodness. So now, moving from that, and even from the point where you happen to be the godfather, the starter, the pioneer of innovation hubs in Ghana, that entrepreneurship journey for you starting. Let's delve into the subject matter today of starting businesses for young people. You can, by your experience, you can actually tell that entrepreneurship journey is not for the weak.
It's not for the faint.
It's not for the faint-hearted, you know. And it's not. Even though we hear a lot of young people and other people, oh, I want to be an entrepreneur, or anybody who, oh, I'm an entrepreneur. It could be whatever it is that they are doing. They feel like they are an entrepreneur. They are. So it's a challenge, and one have to go through steps to be able to get there. Are they even doing it right? Those that are already identifying themselves as entrepreneurs, and those that are having that desire to venture into it, to start, to be the pioneers one day for a certain innovation, for a certain creativity, for a certain business. What are the critical steps that they need to take to attain sustainability, which is key aspect of entrepreneurship. But before you tackle that question, I would like you to begin by defining who really is an entrepreneur. I like
the approach. Whilst you were talking, I was just kind of making mental notes. So there's a clear difference between an entrepreneur and a business person, right? So an entrepreneur is an individual that identifies a problem, then creates the solution, in the process adding value to that solution that they're creating. Yes, you make money at the end of it because you created value, so people pay you for that value, right? A business person is just an individual that identifies an opportunity and then exploits that opportunity for a maximum gain for themselves, right? So you see the difference between the two. An entrepreneur has identified a problem and they bring in a solution, right? So they add in value. But whereas a business person spots an opportunity that they then exploit for their own personal gain, right? See, so before you do anything, ask yourself these two questions. Am I a business person or am I an entrepreneur? If you're a business person, then you're literally, so typical example, let's say you live in a country or in an area where light is a problem, right? So you then go and buy inverters or solar panels and all of these other stuff, right? Then you increase the price because you know people will pay enough money for it, right? So then you put the boards down, you make your money, you're gone, right? You don't care, you're gone, right? You've exploited the situation. It was an opportunity. You just made your money, you don't really care, you're gone, true. Right? But an entrepreneur would then think about, hold on, why don't we have light, right? Oh, do we need to find generators first? Or do we need to build, solar panels? In the process, they are then trying to solve that situation, right? And then they realize that, hold on, we don't have people that are technically trained. So we have to train people. We have to then create jobs. We have to think about the environment. We have to think about gender. So an entrepreneur thinks about so many impactful things, whereas a business person doesn't think about that. So before you start your business, if you aim to make money, then it's easy. You just buy, sell, make money. That's fine. But if you want to solve a problem, here lies the case where you talked about sustainability, right?
Yes.
So first, identify the problem, bring the solution, solve the problem, get the value that you created. People pay you for that before you become sustainable. So it's a long journey. Wow. But for a business, I could just go buy, the bottle or whatever it is I need to sell it to somebody, mark it up. So typical example, doing Independence Day, for example, right? Yeah. The bottle of water that was 3 cedi a day before now becomes 10 cedi because you are the venue. That's business, right? Because we are all here. Yeah. Everybody's thirsty. So I'm just exploiting the situation. My goodness. You see, that's see, so you just make quick money. Quick money. Yeah. But if it was an entrepreneur, they'll be figuring out how come we have so many people here, but nobody's, giving them water. What kind of water do they even need? And all of these other things. So the thought process of an entrepreneur is entirely different from that of a business person. But that's not to say that the business person is wrong, right? But we're wired differently. Okay. That is the difference. We are wired differently. Some of us choose the hard path or the long path to creating businesses and solving problems. Others just want to make their money and then go. That's also okay to do. But the moment you call yourself an entrepreneur, you have to have a different mentality. True entrepreneurs don't really want to be called entrepreneurs because it's not a game. Right? True entrepreneurs don't want to be called entrepreneurs because it's one of those things that is hard, is lonely, it tests your mental health, right? To the point where you can lose family, you can lose friends, you can lose yourself in entrepreneurship because first you identifying a problem, then trying to create a solution, then trying to find somebody that will even pay you for that solution. It's a drawn out process. So entrepreneurship should not be taken lightly. Wow, to be honest, I am impressed about the perspective you gave on the differentiation of these agendas. I'll call it agendas. Because, like I said, everybody just wakes up at any time. It can be morning, noon. Somebody can just wake up from a dream and say, I'm not going to work anymore. God has just given me an idea and I'm going to be an entrepreneur. Right.
And then when they go out there, they see, hello, I am the founder and CEO of these, I am of these, or I sell Kelewele by the roadside. But I honestly think, like you rightfully said, a lot of young businesses or young people or individuals haven't taken the time to really ask the real question. What am I in for? Is it for the impact or for the temporal gain, the monetary value? With the explanation you gave, I'm trying to get it that entrepreneurship is much more focused on impact. Even though there's monetary value attached, but the impact on humanity, impact on community, and impact on the environment. And so if anyone decides to take up the cap of entrepreneurship, you would have to really ask yourself
all those things,
all those questions to be sure whether it's a true calling or it was a flash.
Literally. Like
You know, because
something that you would just do.
yeah. So I think this is also where the journey gets so intense and people give up. And go like, I'm tired. I think this is not my calling. I'm tired. I can't do this. But if we did the right explanation from the beginning on the drawing board, we wouldn't get to the point where we are tired. So entrepreneurs don't, does that mean entrepreneurs don't get tired? No. They get tired, but they keep going.
Because you have a reason why you started, right? Because you want to solve a problem. So you don't quit until the problem is solved. So that's because you know that's the problem. So you don't quit.
You don't quit until the problem is solved, and it's not just solved at first level. You look at the secondary, because you made mention of gender, consideration of gender, and this is a critical part in business or the workspace environment. How many men or female representations are we having? What about the salary structure in terms of the work ethics? Do women have more time for maternity leave? Do I have that? Can you throw more light on the critical steps that one needs to take to start this entrepreneurship journey after the person has really gotten to themselves that yes, this is my calling? What then should they do to achieve that?
Okay, so the critical steps that you need to take, the 6 critical steps.
Great.
And again, I like to use certain analogies, and your people should forgive me.
It's
called the 5 wives and a husband step, right? So it's the 5 W's and then a H step, right? So the first part is the who, right? The first W is the who. Who has the problem that you're trying to solve, right? That's the key, because you're not just creating a business out of thin air. Somebody must have had the problem for you to then try to solve that problem, right? Then ask yourself, what is the problem? So the second W is the what part, right? Then you have to ask yourself, when do they have that problem? So when becomes the third part. Because when they have the problem would have been when they want to probably buy something. When do they have it? Is it online? And all of these other things, you have to think about it, right? Then you look at the fourth one will be your where. Where is this problem? It's a market issue. A lot of the times we create solutions for a market that doesn't fit. So we call something product market fit. Imagine right now I go and bring a TV for Ghana, right? That is 70-inch TV. It's a TV where when you walk in a room, the TV switches itself on and everything works. It doesn't fit into our market. You know why? Because we have infrastructure problems when it comes to electricity and all of these other things. And how many people will right now in Ghana buy a TV that is, let's say, $2 million? They wouldn't buy it because it doesn't fit into the market. So before you create that solution, you have to ask yourself where. So that means that the where is the market itself. Does my solution fit into the market? It might not fit into Accra, but it might fit into Kumasi. So that's where you probably need to go, right? And then after you've done your who, your what, your where, and then the when, right? You do the fifth one, which is the why, which is your value proposition. Why should somebody pay you for that solution? So that's where you bring your differentiator, right? So if somebody else is already in the market, so to speak, there has to be a reason why I should pay you for your solution. right? So don't say, oh, because mine has a nice package. Well, I'm taking care of the product. I don't care about the package. Does the product solve my problem better than somebody else? So you need to explain why somebody needs to pay you for that particular solution. And then how are they going to access that solution? How are you going to get the solution to them, right? And how are you going to show them that you're the best person for them to then come to you? See, so once you break those things down, it just makes it easier for you to do anything. First, you need to know who has the problem. What is the main problem? Where is that problem? Why do they have the problem? When do they have the problem? And how are you then going to let them know about your solution? So you have a great solution, but then you don't go on social media to tell people about it, or you don't put it in, you don't advertise, you don't do anything. How are people going to know about your solution? They wouldn't. And that's those steps that you have to think about when you want to do anything as an entrepreneur.
Wow. I really love how, you know, ascending it is. Can one jump one step, like, or mess it up?
You can't.
So, thank you.
You can't.
You know, talking about you can't is where I come into this question of, you know, in the entrepreneurship journey, mistakes are inevitable. I mean, it comes in our everyday life. So, can we talk about some of the mistakes that entrepreneurs are doing or have done and are still doing that are causing them much? And how can they remedy this? Because if you cannot jumble the process, there is someone out there who is even jumbling, starting from the bottom up approach.
Right.
I nearly said, like, the governance system is always like, you know, they always go, because it's the same thing where in governance, they go to a community to give them a project that they don't necessarily need, because certain steps, like you said, the 5 W's and the H are not done. And then it's an assumption, it's an assumed that, oh, these people need this from a far place. But if you do the 5 W's and the H, you will know that this is the problem I'm trying to solve. So those that have done it, please, what are some of the mistakes you have seen entrepreneurs do, and how can they remedy this situation?
Great question, and I like the way you broke it down. And I think the first thing starts from you, the person, right? You first need to analyze yourself, ask yourself, do I have the right skill set, right? So you will use something called a self-assessment quadrant, right? It's 4 boxes that you need to use. The first box is the soft skill and hard skill box, right? Where you ask yourself, do I have the soft skills to solve this particular problem? Do I have the hard skills to solve this particular problem? Because soft skills and hard skills are different. Soft skills are intangible stuff. So your communication, your time management, and all of these other things are your soft skills, right? Then your hard skills are your qualifications. So whether you're a web developer, you've got certificate in marketing and all of these other things. So you need to ask yourself, do I have any of these, right? Then the second box is the values. What value systems do you have? Integrity, honesty, accountability, all of those, before you embark on solving a problem, right? Then the third box will be the emotional intelligence box. Empathy, sympathy, all of those things are things that you need to have, right? A lot of us don't have emotional intelligence, right? So we don't know how to empathize with people. So if you want to go into business, you need to empathize with people, because these are the people that you're trying to solve the problem for. How are they trying to even survive? What do they go through every day? What are their challenges and all that? So you empathize with them. So that's an emotional intelligence. And then things like conflict resolution, right? Conflict resolution is an emotional intelligence skill set that you have that enables you to create the best customer service system ever. Because if somebody calls you to have an argument with you about your product, you have that emotional intelligence to calm them down and solve the problem for them, right? So the fourth box will be your developmental box. This is where you have to analyze yourself and be futuristic, and then think to yourself, these are the skills that I don't have and I need to develop. So once you do all of these 4, you solve that side first. If you're able to do that, that means you're ready to tackle the problem. So then, after you've done that, this is the problem. You can ask yourself, who are the best people that I can speak to that can aid me in solving this particular problem, right? and then investigate where solution probably is similar to what it is that you already have. If it exists, why doesn't it exist? So you literally have to go through the rabbit hole in this. But the key element here is your self-assessment quadrant. You do that first, because you know, the thing that you talked about, how they start and then they quit. So if you're one of those people that you start something and you quit, then this is not for you.
That's not your calling.
Yeah, it's not your calling.
It's
so
a
that's
missed call.
It's totally missed call. It's like, you know, God calling you on the line, it's like,
I'm not going to pick this one.
Right, so that's why you need to do the assessment first, because everything else can be taken care of. But if you look at yourself and say, last time I tried to do a business, I stopped, you know, halfway through, I didn't do it. That tells you that there's something that you need to address before you go into this. So the key element here is self-assessment first before anything else.
Amazing. It would surprise you to know that as even I'm talking to you, I'm also assessing myself and some of the past initiatives that I took. With my mindset of thinking I was an entrepreneur, I engaged in selling of cereals like Tom Brown and the African print bags and shoes that were, by then they weren't, you know, as common as it used to be. That was like over 10 years ago. And I was in this beats and all of that, because that was when the wear Ghana, African wear, all that. But ask me, where did all those businesses?
You see, because the thing is, you were solving a problem, because there was a point in time where Africans were happy just wearing European clothes, but not wearing African clothes, right? But where probably you missed the point was the value of it. What happens when I wear my African clothes? What do I gain from it? So you should sell things like confidence, right? Sell things like identity. So those are the things that you sell. It's almost like I ask people, what does Nike sell? You think they sell trainers? They don't sell trainers. They sell a lifestyle, which is sports. They sell a lifestyle. They don't sell trainers. See, so when you buy into the Nike mindset, you are buying into a lifestyle, right? Rolex, they sell luxury, right? That's what they sell. They don't sell watches, they sell luxury. See, so that's the value. So in this case, if you were selling identity, people would have thought, yeah, it's true, I'm Ghanaian, I need to represent my brand, and then they would have jumped onto it. But then if you sell, Ghana clothes, and they're thinking, yeah, but Ghana clothes, my grandmother wears it, so why am I wearing it? You see what I mean? And that is a lot of the things. So some of the times, it's about the value that you bring is what is the mismatch between either being successful, quote unquote, or just quitting when you didn't need to quit.
Yes, I think you've tagged on a very great point about the value aspect, because honestly, at those my naive moments, even though I didn't have a better understanding of entrepreneurship and all the key things that I needed, it will interest you to know that I was really interested in selling the value, which so the name that I used for my business was Jidodo. That's Ewe, means perseverance.
Right.
And I used a logo with Wawaba, you know, to form a shape of a woman. And if you know Wawaba, it's hard and tough, and it's part of the Edinkra symbols.
Right, and it's resilient.
Exactly,
right?
resilient. So I was trying to say that it's not just about wearing dress, but it's about giving women that confidence and that resiliency and promoting that this is who we are. But like you said, it could be that I was not supposed to quit, and I quitted because I was maybe on the right path. But after this whole thing, I'm going to take a lesson myself.
Exactly. But you see, 10 years from then, look at what now.
Exactly.
So if you had stayed a little bit, you probably would have been the godmother of. You see.
So you see, this is how authentic the conversation gets on YITDA TV. We all have our share of stories. It is not just about pointing fingers at you to say you didn't do it right, but it is about we all sharing our stories and looking at the common mistakes and the common inspirations to drive at a greater goal. So if you want the station or a platform that will inspire you to a greater goal, it is YITDA TV, and you should be clicking on the subscription button by now. Now we're going to continue our conversation. It's not ending now. It's not ending. We can't end it. It's just too interesting to end. Cool. So I would like to touch on your role as at iSpace Foundation. With your role, you have actually had the opportunity to deal with or encounter a lot of setups and, you know, and young entrepreneurs and all that. What key roles do innovation hubs like iSpace Foundation, mentorship, like yourself, you are a mentor, a trainer, and, you know, all others have to play in starting a business or in the entrepreneurship journey for a young person?
It's an excellent question. And for me, I always look at innovation hubs as the Garden of Eden. Right? When you think about a Garden of Eden, it's like an ecosystem. The trees, the sky, the water, all of these things that were put in place before man was put inside of it, right? So innovation hubs need to kind of think in exactly the same way. An entrepreneur, what are the needs of an entrepreneur? They need a conducive environment. What does that mean? They need internet that works. They need desk. They need a community. They need mentorship. They need funding. They need all of these things. Without one, none of these things would work. And that tells you how critical innovation hubs are to entrepreneurs. But what breaks my heart is the entrepreneur themselves are not taking advantage or not seeing the use of innovation hubs, because what they do is they will go and sit at cafes, right? And
or
have
malls.
Or malls, right? Because when you go to Accra Mall, you see all of them. They sat there, they doing their little research and everything else that they're doing. Great. But then you miss the point, because for me as Josiah, I get asked every single day, oh, can you introduce us to entrepreneurs that are working on A, B, C, and D? If I can't find you, how do I introduce you to people? If you don't come to the hubs, how do I then introduce you to potential investors? Then you would sit there somewhere and say, oh, in Ghana, nobody helps us. Well, you don't go to the places where you need to get the help from, right? And that is the problem. And also, so I think the problem is innovation hubs themselves, we have not communicated our role very well, right? We use the word hub just, you know, in just loose terms, but we are an ecosystem, right? Having the light, having internet, having programs, having all of these things, that in itself is what entrepreneurs need. Now, permit me to use you as an example, right?
Definitely, go on.
You can be one of those people that would come in to facilitate, let's say, storytelling sessions and teaching people how to pitch and, you know, use your voice to sell what it is that they're doing.
Definitely.
Now, if you as an entrepreneur, you are shy, you don't know how to pitch, you don't know how to, and I'm doing those kind of classes, and I invite you, Christabel, you're there, but then you, the entrepreneur, don't show up. And then you go and stand on stage to pitch and you bomb. Whose fault is it? It's your fault. It's not the innovation hub's fault. So I think we need to really have that conversation that entrepreneurs now need to go to innovation hubs and then say we need A, B, C, and D in order for us to be able to then function. So innovation hubs are like, you know, the Garden of Eden to me. It's an ecosystem that is purposely set up to support an entrepreneur to flourish and be successful. That's what innovation hubs are.
Wow, wow. Of course, I told you, he's called what? Mr. Ecosystem. Of course, this is why I said so, because he understands the fundamentals of creating that community when it comes to entrepreneurship. And you've made a profound explanation, which talks about the fact that, you know, as an entrepreneur that needs to grow and learn more, you need to make yourself discoverable. If you don't make yourself discoverable, who can discover you? And then how can you even see other opportunities? How can you even know whether you are even lacking behind? Because for you, you may be in your room and thinking that what you're doing is the greatest innovation that has happened. But if you take the opportunity and access these hubs that are all over in Accra, you will get the opportunity to even network with other people, other entrepreneurs that are doing other things. So it is not just about a space that is probably taking your small coins to give you internet, to give you laptop, to give you, you know, a serene office space. And that even tells you that the environment has a role to play in your ideation process. And if you are at the mall where a lady in miniskirt is passing by.
Your idea, you just look at her and then you just,
your ideas begin shaking.
Yeah, shaking. You know what I mean? Because you just
you don't know whether you are designing a ball gown or you are designing a miniskirt.
You know what I mean? So already you're just gone because you're in an environment that is not allowing you to think in a creative way, right? And I mean, again, if I, let's say, contacted you as, let's say, a developer, right? And we have a meeting and then you said we should meet in a mall, I won't trust you. Because why am I meeting you there? You say you're a business person. Where's your office? Where's, all of these things. And so hubs, if you then tell the person, the client, oh, I work at this space, you can come there. They come, the hub will let you have a meeting room. They can set up the meeting room and everything. That it gives that person a sense of security. It gives you a professionalism and then it builds trust. So the person can know that, okay, even if I pay you and you run away with my money, I can come to this space and then find out, where this person is. And I think that's the thing. That's the thing that people have to understand that, going to sit at malls and cafes, it's not helping you as the entrepreneur in any shape or form. You have to be in spaces of like-minded people that you can share ideas. And, hubs are not spaces where we take ideas or use people's ideas. No, we are spaces where we nurture and grow ideas. So innovation hubs play a huge role in the development of entrepreneurs. And I think, and I wish Ghanaian entrepreneurs would really, pay mind to that and then start visiting hubs all the time.
Definitely, definitely. And I think also is the point where probably an entrepreneur will say, I don't have enough money to have an office or get an office space, like you explained. So you rent it out for them, and nobody even knows that it's even rented out, and you have this serene, beautiful, respected, office space for yourself to transact your business for credibility purposes and brand positioning as well.
Right. And you see, not to cut you off, but you see the point that you made is sometimes you might not have money to pay for the space. That's fine, but you have skill set. So you can even go to the hub and say, you know what, I can design your website for you in exchange for me to use your office space. You see what I mean? I can design flyers for you in exchange for me to use your space for internet. And all of these things. It teaches you, the entrepreneur, negotiation skills.
It's fantastic.
So we should not look at what we lack or what we don't have. You should always look at what you have to get what you want. That's the key. So I have this skill set. I don't have money, but what can I use that skill set to get the money? So you can go to hubs and tell them, I've looked at your website, I can design it better for you, but I don't have money to rent out the space. So in the next 3 months, I want to use your space, in exchange for creating your website. Any good leader or founder of a hub will be like, you know what, I like you. Let's sit down and then talk about it and get it done. And that's how we need to be. We need to grow a group of entrepreneurs that apply negotiating skills, right? Not those ones that the moment they come between a block and a stumbling place, like, no, I'm not doing it, and then go and hide in their room. Exactly. It's just, we're not about that life.
Wow. I don't know why you wouldn't want to be at iSpace Foundation. Trust me, right from the gate, the environment of iSpace Foundation is just fantastic. It's very serene. It is as if I'm at Every Gardens. You could hear the animals, like when I mean the animals, the birds. You can feel nature. And this place gives you that mindset, that peace of mind to create, to be innovative, and to be at your best with your business. So I'm not suggesting, I'm putting it to you to locate iSpace Foundation at Adringano in Accra. They have their numbers, which I will share, that you can go to their website, search iSpace Foundation, and you'll find it. And you can see this beautiful space that we're using is theirs. Talk about the inside. You don't want to miss it. Now, talking about the opportunities that you've been granting for businesses over the years with the hub, the establishment, and all of that. Scaling a business is very difficult. But starting a business is very easy. Everybody can start a business.
But scaling it?
Both start with an S, just like faith and fear.
Yeah, so we choose one, right?
We choose one. People decide to choose one. Like you said, if you're if the individual's intention is not to make impact, you go for starting a business. But if the individual's intention is to make an impact, you go to scaling scaling a business. Can you tell us how can entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs, attain this in order to attain sustainability in their endeavors?
I mean, great question, because scaling is one of the difficult things, right? It's really difficult to do, but it's not impossible to do either, right? If you build the right systems in place, it's easier for you to scale. Now, when we talk about scaling, one is internal, one is external, right? So let's tackle both of them. Okay. The internal part of scaling is the number, let's say the team growth, right? For example, first you and your co-founder started, right? And then now you bring in another person, then you bring another person, then you bring in you're scaling in terms of human resource, right? Then you look at the product itself, the features and stuff that you have to put on the product. You scaling on your features. So all of these things are internal things that you have to then build capacity for you to be able to do, right? Before you do anything. Now, the external scaling is the market. First you started in Accra, then suddenly you want to go to Kumasi, then from Kumasi you want to go to the north, from the north now you're in Volta and all that. So that's only scaling in Ghana, right? Then you think about scaling regionally, so West Africa. That comes with its own rules,
okay,
right? In terms of the market entry and all of these, the policies and investments that you have to raise and all of this. So you need to do your research. So when you want to scale, ask yourself, where am I scaling, internally or externally? If it's internally, what are the different departments that I'm scaling in first? Once you lock that down, then ask yourself, okay, we now need to scale externally. Externally, which markets are we looking at, right? How conducive is that market to us? Can we jump other Ghanaian cities and go straight to Nigeria? But then remember, Nigeria is bigger than Ghana, right? See, so where in Nigeria are you going? Are you going to Lagos? If you're going to Lagos, you need to do market feasibility test, right? And then do your research and everything to find out about the competitors in that market. See, so you need to do all of this analysis first before, right? And permit me to use a biblical analogy
please,
here.
Go on. YITDA is faith-based.
After the Creator made the earth, right? He sat back and think, what? It's nice. Now we need to put man inside of it, right? They had to do a self-analysis. He had to analyze that everything worked first. Because if this didn't work, I won't put a human being inside of it. So God had to kind of do that analysis and realize that, you know what? Everything is perfect. Now I need to put man into it. So that's exactly the same thing that you need to do. Before you scale, ask yourself, is the market that I'm scaling in, is it perfect for my product to be in? Am I well equipped to be to go into that market before you put your product in? Some people scale for vanity purposes, right? So that they can go around and say, I have 5 offices around the world. You have 5 offices around the world, but you have no product, you have no customers, it's bleeding your business. What's the point? You see, so we don't scale for vanity, we scale for purpose. Does it make sense to be in those markets? Do you have the policy is favorable for you to be in those markets? Can you compete in those markets? Do you have capital to sustain yourself for the next year in those markets? Ask all those questions before you scale. And even when you want to scale in terms of products alone, right? You were talking about the Tom Brown thing.
Yes.
Right? Let's say some people, they selling Tom Brown. They will add Kose mix to it, then they will add this mix to it, then they'll add the cocoa mix and all of that.
Very true.
You scaling on products, but guess what? It costs 750 cedis for every certification that you get, right? From FDA. So if you have 10 different products, that's 10 different certifications that you have to get, right? So you spend, let's say 7,500 to get all the certifications, but you don't have money to do marketing or even packaging and everything else. Then what happens? So you scaled in terms of products that were not necessary for the market. You probably could have scaled on just Tom Brown, going to different cities rather than adding more products to your line when you didn't need to, right? Because nobody asked you to. Because you saw competitors doing it, so you also doing it. So scale when it's necessary. Do not scale out of vanity. right? If there's no purpose in scaling, don't do it.
Wow. If there is no purpose, do not do it. So you need to actually ask yourself some questions, actually. And I love how you moved beyond the Ghana region to other African region. And that brings me to my next question for you. Africa, the African continent is very wide, and I personally believe that there are a lot of opportunities for young people here. We may have some challenges with in terms of identifying them, the resources that are available, and how to use the resources, you know, to be able to attain sustainability or what have you. Everybody has their own perception. Some people also think there are no opportunities, and so they want to japa. Yeah. But YITDA members are not Japan. We want to make Ghana and Africa the best, a great place to be. And that's why we are on this journey to utilize, to discover what is within us and how we can create this youthful synergies together, the networking, to be able to make a greater impact. So I would like to ask this very important question. What opportunities do you see in the African context, in the African context? Like, which opportunities do you see around that young people, I mean opportunities in terms of entrepreneurship opportunities that young people can grab and make the best out of them? And how do they even make the best out of them?
Great question. And I think I like the fact that you identified the opportunity and the beauty that is of the continent of Africa, right? I mean, no other continent is as beautiful as Africa. They can argue if they want to. That's okay. That's fine with me. But when you look at Africa as big as it is, Ghana as small as it is, right? The history that you have as a nation, can you import it to the rest of the world? What is opportunity and all of these other things in there? Right now, look at our music industry or our creative space, right? The fabrics and stuff that we use. Fashion is growing in Africa and all of those other things. People are looking for African prints, but Ghanaian prints particularly from West Africa. So if you are one of those people, why are you just focused on Ghana alone? Why are you not connecting with fashion outlets to then supply to them, right? Because now Africa is open. The middle class is growing. People, the youth are now interested in something that is African. Right? And
our president has given visa free. Oh my goodness!
Right? You see what I mean? It's visa free. See, so nothing stops you. Rather than taking that money. Ex-president, please. Yeah, let's be clear. Let's be clear. Nothing stops you in thinking, wait, searching the South African fashion industry, right? And then saying maybe, let's say they have the fashion week coming in the fall. So let's say in June, for example. Contact some of the designers there and say, listen, I'm a fashion designer in Ghana, and these are some of my prints and everything else. Can I come and be part of the show, right? Sometimes you have to take that risk for the first time. Nobody has to pay you to do something for the first time. You go there, you show your fashion, get a runway, blow it. Then capitalize on the opportunities that you're supposed to get. Come back home and then re-enter the nation, right? From fashion point of view. Those of us that are selling shea butter and all of those other stuff. For the first time in African history, the dark skin is seen as beautiful, right? So that means cosmetics industry is going to blow. Somebody's in the north creating shea butter.
Shea butter.
You from Accra can go to the north, put it out nicely, package it and send it to somebody in South Africa, Botswana, Zimbabwe, Uganda, Kenya, all of those places.
Tanzania.
Right? Tanzania. Because they don't get that ingredient. So you supply it to them. It's a value chain approach. The opportunity here is you don't have to be the one creating everything. You can literally be a raw material supplier to another person in another country. So the opportunity for you as an African is vast. But I also think that, again, the language barrier creates its own little, iffy thing that makes Africans generally don't want to travel to other African countries. But then why are you not learning French? Why are you not learning Portuguese? And all of these are, because like I said, as a Ghanaian, you can leave Ghana and fly all the way, Japan, all the way to France. You can't speak 1 ounce of French, but you found yourself in France. But to go to your neighboring Togo, you don't want to go there because they speak French. I mean, work with me here. Work with me. You can at least go to Togo first, see, because you see, a lot of the time we fail because we like to leap too far ahead of ourselves. Going to Togo is one leap, small leap for you, but it's big because for the first time you're leaving home, right? Go to Togo. That's the first time you're leaving home. Go to Togo. Immerse yourself in the environment. Understand that, oh, you realize that, oh, okay, I'm no longer afraid. I can travel to another country. You're building your confidence, right? But some of us, the first time we want to do something, we want to be so great. Then you just leap, right? You fall flat on your face. That's where the failure comes from. Don't be scared to do smaller things before the greater things. So the opportunity in Africa, you don't necessarily even have to go to South Africa. You can just go to Togo. Togo is just here.
You can go by transport if in case you don't have a passport.
Yeah, you can literally just get on the bus and then use your Ghana card. You can be there.
Yeah.
Right? You go and, survey the market, see, and you also building your skills in terms of market analysis and all of these other things, right? You building data. Then from Togo, you think, let me try and go to Benin. Then you move. But what you're doing is you're building resilience, you're building confidence whilst you're doing that opportunity discovery, so to speak, right? And that's how we need to let these young folks understand. Jackbarrian all the way to France and the UK and all that.
US especially.
Do you know what I mean? It sounds nice.
Putting their lives on
the risk
on the
just go there. Just so that you can do social media posts on what they call it, Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp, so that we can see that you for the first time you've seen snow. Like, what am I supposed to do with that information? Right?
Goodness.
You got people that would find money to do a master's degree, but they will never find money to start off the business idea that they have, right? So that means you don't believe in yourself enough to just do that.
Goodness.
Because if master's degree is going to cost you, let's say, 15,000, right? And what hurts me for a lot of Africans is you spend $15,000.
It's even more than, anyway.
Right? It's even more than that. To pay for a UK university to do your master's degree whilst you're in Ghana. And then when you qualify, then they fly you over there to then do your graduation so you can come back. You pay $15,000. That $15,000, you could have started business with it, right? You're learning to read business before you start business.
How does that work?
How does that work? So for me, the opportunity that we're talking about in Africa has to be discovered. That means Africans have to travel amongst other African countries in order for them to discover that. You are in Ghana, go to Benin, go to Togo, go to Burkina, go to Ivory Coast. Go to your neighboring countries first, then move to the next country, then the next country. Next thing you know, once you gain that confidence, then you can jack back to, the US and the UK and all of these other things. And one of the best things, you hear people saying, oh, I paid somebody to help me get a visa. You pay somebody $5,000 to help you get a visa. The easiest way around that, do you know how easy it is to get a visa?
No.
Travel first. Go to all these other countries. Get stamps in your passports. So the $5K that you paid that person, use that $5K to travel to 10 different African countries to get I'm telling you, to get your visa. So that when you sit in front of the the visa officer in American embassy, you can say, oh yeah, I've been to South Africa, I've been to Botswana, it's beautiful, I went there for business discovery, because they know that when they give you their visa, when you go to the US, you come back. But if the first time you want to travel is to pay somebody $5K for them to go get you a visa, my friend,
you're there for trouble. Young people.
I'm just saying.
Like, that was an intelligent analysis, honestly. I think we never reason to that. It's all about the pressure of I want to be out there. I want to travel, take pictures, and so that my friends, peer pressure, everybody can see, like you said, post on social media, because a lot of young people now are living for social media. Right. Social media, not for themselves, not the reality of their lives and their goals. And I like the analogy of start it, gain the experience, and then add the theory to it. But don't be waiting to seek theory before you come and add experience. However, Mr. Eyison is not saying that if you get the opportunity to get the theory first before starting, you should let it go.
Exactly.
No,
I'm not saying
no.
I'm not saying that.
Yeah, you should take it. However, if you happen to be, let's say, me, that do not have the money now, like I'm desiring to do my master's in international development,
okay.
and I don't have the money now, but I'm still doing something impactful right now. So when I go to the class and we are having a conversation, I can talk about impactful. You know, I have something to say, my experience.
And then you will learn even better because now you realize, oh, so this is what I'm doing. That's the term for it.
Yeah.
You know, because sometimes you realize that you learn better by doing than just reading about it, right? And that's what people don't understand. Like people generally don't understand that it's better to do something, then you go read about it and think, oh, so this is what I was doing. But most of the time, we want to learn those things, read about it first before we go and do something. But but if you get the opportunity to go to university and all of that, I'm not saying don't do it.
Of course.
Right? But at least you have an idea of starting a business. So whilst you're in university, start that business and apply what you're learning from the class onto the market. And then you will get it, right? And a lot of people just need to understand that this is what you need to do.
Wow, this is, my goodness, the conversation has been very insightful. We are almost getting to the latter end, getting to the end of it, even though I don't want it to end. Even though I don't want it to end, but that conversation has been really, really insightful. We need to get the experience. Don't wait for a better time. Don't wait to get it all together. Get into action, because entrepreneurship is more about action. You know, that brings me to the point of the saying that I've been hearing, that people always say that our mothers at Makola and our fathers by the street that are doing businesses, sometimes people, especially young people, do not respect them enough. But these are because they think they've not been to school. They've not read the MBAs, how to start Entrepreneurship 101. They've not read the literatures and they can't speak the good English. And so they sometimes, overlook them. But these are people with the rich experience, like you said, who have the experience, they've started, and if possible, they may want to add the knowledge to it. So I think they can also be valuable people that we can learn from. What do you have to say about that to young people?
You said it all. And I always, on the 1st, I think it was on the 1st of January, 2025, Cantonmanto burned down.
Yeah.
And those of us on social media, oh my God, it's a terrible thing. How are these people going to survive? Yada, 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 yada. The following day, these people built back Cantonmanto.
I saw it.
Now, that's resilience. Against all odds. It's okay, it's burnt, but we back again. You saw videos of those people jumping, smiling, as if nothing has happened. And that's the true essence of entrepreneurship. Disasters happen, so I have to carry on and do. Those of us that are sitting in air-conditioned rooms, right? Oh, somebody posted this, I posted something on social media and nobody liked it. I'm stopping my business. That's you. Somebody that the business all burned down in one day is still smiling and wants to start again. So yes, we need to go and learn from them. Talk about resilience, right? The can-do attitude. Nothing will stop me attitude, right? Against all odds attitude. Entrepreneurs have to go and speak to them. How do you do it? You've got somebody that has been in Mokala for the last 40, 30, 20 years, put their children through school, universities, doctors, lawyers, and you have the nerve to look down on them because you are in what? In an air condition and you sit in a nice car. Like, are you okay?
My goodness.
I have to ask you a question.
My goodness, it's a question though.
Right, are you okay? If anything, you should go to them and ask them, how are you calculating all your risks and all of these things without even knowing what risk analysis is? Right? You're not using any templates. How are you? I mean, you go to Mokala and the moment they see you, oh, my customer. How
are you? Address you, customer service top notch. Meanwhile, about 3 or 10 people are selling the same thing there. Right? But they are able to make their money.
Exactly. But you air-conditioned entrepreneur, you sit and say, oh, me, I'm an introvert, so I can't speak to people. Really?
Or if you're an
Really?
introvert, I do public speaking training.
There
You
you
can
go.
log on. You can
Yeah.
log on. Just contact me, and then we'll get that off. It's a sickness.
I'm telling you, it's a sickness. You can get it off.
Yeah.
You see, so that lady in Mokola or our fathers that's standing in the streets and dodging traffic here and there and trying to survive, they have information that we need.
We need.
We should never, underestimate what they can do. Those are the engines that we need to talk to. Those are the people that we need to bring into spaces and then even ask them. Sometimes you see women carrying things on their head. And I'm thinking, Josiah, this me with my shiny head. Can I think about putting something on my head and walking between traffic to sell it? And then you see them maneuver the strategies. It's like, how do you even have the confidence to do that every day? Every day to be selling in traffic, and I put you in suit and nice tie to go and sell something. You be like, oh, I'm not confident. Come on now. Come on now.
Oh my goodness.
Like,
we need to rise up. Youth in Transformative Development Africa. We need to rise up. This is the conversation. We need to rise up. We need to look at things from a different perspectives. From now onwards, we need to value people and never underestimate any experience at all just because we think they are not flowing in the bleh. No, that's not it. That's not it. You'll be missing the point. Even though we don't want to end the conversation, we are almost getting to it, like I said. But then this part is very important to me. Entrepreneurship, yeah, there is profit making as well. And from the beginning, you did mention about the impact aspect as well. Now, how can entrepreneurs or young businesses look at, making their businesses contribute to social impact and the sustainable development goal?
Thank you for that question, because again, like we talked about, entrepreneurship is about making impact.
Yeah.
So before you start something, you need to look at the, sustainable goals and then ask yourself, how is my product helping my nation achieve this? So if it's in education, if it's in alleviation of poverty, health, or whatever, gender, you need to ask yourself. So if you use gender, for example, you can say, okay, what is the metric that Ghana is trying to achieve in terms of, gender equality? So X amount of women being employed, or people with disability, and all of those other things. So when you're employing people, you make that conscious effort and say, you know what, I need to employ women in this position, people with, disability and all of those other things, in order for you to then achieve that goal. If it's about education, how is it that this app that I'm creating can help people become educated? So if I'm creating, and from an EdTech startup, for example, if I'm creating a platform for kids to study, what am I helping them study? Is it financial literacy? Right? Is it environmental literacy? Because you need to know that. So then you need to ask yourself all of these questions. If it's anything to do with land or poverty and all of that kind of thing, how am I creating a product that helps solve the poverty situation? So that means I need to figure a way to pay my people well, or create more jobs, and all of these other things. See, so you have to look at the sustainable goals first, and then look at your product or the service that you're offering, and then see how that solves that particular problem. And that's how you can map it. But then you have to know that your country has to report on this, right?
Yes.
And so you being able to then tell your story, how you're doing it, funny enough, can also bring more money and visibility to you. Because if you say, okay, I'm a startup and I'm employing 100 women, right? Or I'm employing 50 people with disability, and all of these things that I've created 70 jobs, 80 jobs, and you let the whole world know about it. You put it on social media and everything else. There's a lot of agencies that will say, you know what, let's fund this person to do more work. So there's profitability, or there's support in impact, and then communicating that impact. So what I'm saying is, do not do impactful stuff and be humble about it. Don't sit in the corner and say, oh, God will tell my story.
False humility.
False humility. God has already told his story. He doesn't need you to do anything else. You've done the work. Now go and tell the world about the work that you've done.
Go ye therefore and spread the gospel.
Exactly. That's what you're doing.
Entrepreneurship is all about the spread of the gospel. Definitely.
Right? So
It
you tell
is.
people,
Go
this
ye,
is who
tell
I am.
them.
This is what I've done. And, this is what I can do with publicity. You have to let it know. You have to be known. You have to be seen for the work that you do. So when you're doing something, if you want to do something impactful, find out where the impact would be, whether it's in the sustainable goals in that sense, which part of the sustainable goals that you need to look at, and then how your product or your service in that sense would then solve that, and then let the world know about it. Because, you know, we will not know until you let us know that you're doing amazing work. So that's, yeah, for me, that's what I would say.
Definitely. And the world knowing about it is youth making good use of the social media and not for twerking and all that have you. Recent, the kind of content that are up, I mean, that'll be for another discussion, honestly.
Yeah, you saw my
we want
face,
the money. We want the money. That's somebody's entrepreneurship journey. But, but the question is, what impact, are you having? So this conversation is just right. So you have to look at it. It's what you are putting out there impactful. Does it even align with any of the SDGs? Because I don't see any of the SDGs or the 2060 goals of the ECOWAS telling us to take off our dresses or be twerking and whatever to gain money. So we should make good use of our social media handles as young people. Please, technology is not a curse. It's a blessing. And it's a blessing for you to reach the other side of the world. So let's make good use of it.
Yeah, because a lot of our youth are doing trendy stuff, and that's the problem. See, so right now, content creation is like you take a speaker, put it outside, dance, do your face a little bit, and then put it out, and then it grows up, and you see. And I feel, you know what? Like that we're talking to the youth particularly, you need to talk to women. Right, these young girls, you really need to talk to them.
Okay.
Because when you look at these videos, right, especially these dancing videos, the boys are fully dressed, but the girl is literally half naked, right? Now, what does that say about your future? Because the internet never forgets.
Definitely.
You're young now, you're 13, 14, you know, maybe 16. You don't care because you don't see the future. But then in 10 years' time, you might want to be the CEO or you might want to be the MP of a particular place. Somebody goes and pulls those videos and then uses that against you. You don't win your election, then what happens? Right?
And honestly, these things have been done most of the times during vetting of MPs.
Yeah.
They bring their old, and the internet never forgets.
It never forgets.
In as much as we want to be popular, we want to get the fame, we want to be trendy, we want to be known, our names, and those so-called celebrity titles, we need to be very careful about it. Are we impactful celebrities or, you know, I don't want to give it. We're just being celebrities for celebrity's sake. And on that note, this is where we say, you know, we pull the curtain down. We want to say a very big thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to Mr. Ecosystem. You heard him, Mr. Josiah, and he's the CEO and the co-founder of iSpace Foundation, an incredible hub located in Accra, Adjingano, that supports startups, tech startups, creative startups, what have you. And he has been mentoring and nurturing and also providing co-working space for startups and young entrepreneurs I mean, I can't even mention the years. So take and make good use of this opportunity. We want to say thank you for this insightful conversation. You've given us more than we even asked for or we even imagined we will get from you. We like the authenticity in your delivery and we like how you made it relate to us. And we say God richly bless you.
Amen.
And we pray for an expansion for you. And we will always come knocking at your door. However, I want to know, do you have any last word to share with the audience, the youth out there, any word that is, you know, banking on your heart that you'd like to share with them before we say goodbye?
So I would say that entrepreneurship is not for everyone, but everyone needs to try entrepreneurship. It will help test your resolve, your resiliency, and then your just ability to create and solve problems. Believe in yourself and be truthful to who you are at all times. Root yourself in faith, because once you have your faith, everything else would place itself and make sense to you. And I would just say, go out there. Africa has a lot of challenges. Those challenges are the opportunities for you to create amazing things, right? So you, a Ghanaian, Africa is yours, and you can make it happen if you want to make it happen. And believe in yourself and just make it happen.
And this is where I end. And also re-emphasize that there again, entrepreneurship is not just about starting a business, it's about building a vision and making an impact. Therefore, you need to be resilient throughout the journey of challenges and do not give up. If you are ready and you've identified yourself that you are the entrepreneur and not just a business person, then you have to start today. Take that action today, not tomorrow. Get ready and make it happen for yourself and your society. Do not belittle what you have. Do not belittle your idea. It starts from just a smaller drop of water for us to have an ocean. So young people out there, my name is Christabel Odonkor. I have been your host, and this is YITDA TV, your go-to platform for empowering youthful synergies for sustainable development goal. If you haven't, you heard me right, if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, upon all this conversation, you heard it, this is so insightful, then this is the time to click on the red button. And we need to spread the message because it's about connections, network, and synergies. So share this message, share this video with your friends and social media networks for them to learn a thing or two. And also, we would want to know what resonated with you in our conversation. What's your feel? What idea do you have? What do you have to share? Maybe you even want to know the location of iSpace, or you want to learn about public speaking, or what have you. Just get into the comment section, get busy there. We want to hear from you and we get the conversation going. It's been a blessing having you, and thank you so much for tuning in. Until we meet again for the next episode, it is YITDA. Thank you.